Oh shit! That was my own fault. That wasn't the car's fault. Actually, fuck it. It's a BMW. We're blaming the car.
We show up.
What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Carbon, and I'm back again, this time with another video. I'm driving a BMW. I know. If you see my other videos, you know how much I really don't like BMWs. I mean, they're beautiful cars, don't get me wrong. It's just not my cup of tea. I like the R34 Skylines, the Supras, actually any Skyline, any Supra, most JDM cars. I'm just not that big of a BMW fan. And that's okay. You know, this is a community that absolutely loves their BMWs. And the one thing I have been missing out on, apparently, is when a community is absolutely in love with BMWs and they have servers absolutely full of BMWs, chances are those BMWs are going to handle and drive really well. So that's what I'm here to do. I'm here to do a top to bottom run from pit stop down to the bridges. And we're going to see, you know, how well we can do. How does the car handle going decent speeds? The goal is to try to be at least over 100 mile an hour, and I do have a digital dashboard up, as you can see. It's showing my mile per hour. Down here is my kilometer per hour, so no matter where you're watching from, you'll be able to figure out about how fast I'm going. You know, most cars, I'd say in the average zone of the average handling performance cars in these servers, you need to stay around 100 and 110 mile an hour, like consistently, because that way when you start throwing the car like this from lane to lane, they usually start fishtailing, losing control, hard to recover. But from what I've been watching on these people's videos and live streams, is that these BMWs are basically cheating. Especially if you're like in a VIP 3 membership and you have access to all of these servers in BMWs, especially on the servers with the scoring system. As you can see on the top left, I am number 230 in the world with 43.8 million points. Now, I could have got more than that, but somebody wrecked me on purpose. I reported them, all that stuff. If you want to see that drama, go to the previous video where I'm driving a Porsche 911 GT3 RS. I mean, we're not even close to being done with the top to bottom run here on this test drive, and I can already tell you, this vehicle's probably going on my list of vehicles to use as a possibility for a leaderboard attempt run for some high scores. Not saying it'll be my go-to, but you know, when this game is getting more and more popular, they're getting more and more members every single minute. It's honestly insane to me, and it deserves it, because for a car guy, it doesn't get much simpler than this game. You know, you're just cutting traffic. It almost feels like a mobile game. Oh shit! That was my own fault. That wasn't the car's fault. Actually, fuck it. It's a BMW. We're blaming the car. We're gonna keep going. Like I said, we're doing a top to bottom test drive. Nobody was leaving the pits when I was leaving it, so I'm pretty confident my wreck right there did not screw anybody up. But getting back to what I was talking about, when the servers start becoming more and more populated than they've ever been, it used to be that if you were a VIP 3, you could basically choose any server you wanted, choose whatever car you wanted, and if it wasn't, you know, prime gaming hours in the evening, you were able to drive whatever car. But with everything just getting more and more popular, it's hard to find the cars I want to drive, especially for high score runs. So you have to have backup cars in your back pocket in case that happens. And I gotta say, if all BMWs are handling as good as this one, I might have to put BMWs on the list. We're not going to assume all BMWs are handling as good as this one. And then you also have that, you know, problem where maybe you meet, you know, some people in the community, or you have friends that are also playing. You guys want to cut up together. You both want to drive a specific car, but those cars aren't available. So one of you has to bite the bullet and drive something else. And as much as you maybe don't want to, by doing that, you can find some absolute hidden gems. One of the hidden gems I have is that 911 GT3 RS. Most people are out there trying as hard as they can to get qualified with the No Hesi version of the 911 GT3 RS, but they actually have two versions. and I'm using the second version, and that car is always available, and that's the car I used to get certified. I am very surprised. Well, I wouldn't say I'm surprised, but it is weird that this car is so quiet. And I mean quiet compared to, you know, what I normally drive. You know, those JDM cars, Skylines, Supras, you know, Hondas, anything with a VTEC. Those things are basically farting in your ear the entire time you're driving them. This one is relatively tame. I feel like it's not absolutely overpowering me. I'm gonna turn the brights on here as the tunnel is a little bit dark. And it just helps to see those cars coming up in the future. It's good to be able to look up ahead. This is not normally a camera angle I would ever use, except for making a video, but driving this car and the way it handles makes me think I could drive like this all the time. I wish all cars felt this good, but it's also probably because I'm using a little bit bigger of a field of view than I normally would, because I do realize that cinematically, and you know, just being on YouTube and watching it, it looks a hell of a lot better than being really close up to the windshield and the steering wheel. Now, most people want to see the entire car. We are already coming up to the final bridges on the run, and I can't believe how fast we have went down this track in this car without having any serious issues, and for the most part going a hell of a lot faster than I normally would be going. Like, I am whipping these lanes and the car is just keeping up with me. The brakes are doing excellent as well. You know, there's a couple of times I've absolutely just had to mash the brakes, and I would say maybe they locked up, but only for a split second. I always stopped before, right there. I always stopped before I was gonna hit the target. Before I was gonna take out a family of 5, you know what I'm saying? Holy shit! What was that? Oh, that was close. That was close. Left, 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 right, left. Wow, this car is enjoyable. And if it's easy to drive this car on the Shitoko map, I can't imagine how it's going to feel on the 415 map. Speaking of which, the 415, the Highway 415, No HESI Zone map, should be getting its scoring update any day now. And they did announce at the beginning of Series 2 that they were going to wait a couple weeks to release the scoring system for 415, and it's been a couple weeks. I can be a getaway driver in this thing. I haven't had to tune the force feedback. I haven't had to do really anything. I basically just spawned in with this car and drove it the exact way it came, minus turning on the headlights. Ooh, I'm on beaches. Ooh! And that is a top to bottom run. If I had to give this car a score, I'd probably give it an 8.7. That's what I'm going to start with, 8.7. I'm going to start ranking these cars as I drive, and this is going on the 8.7 list. I will start keeping a list, and as we're driving them, we will put them on the screen at the end of each car's test run that I do. I do love driving just every different car. But considering that is the end of the top to bottom run, this is a score of 8.7, the BMW M4 G87. Leave that like, leave that subscribe, and leave a comment. Let me know what I did wrong. You guys always do. Until next time, peace.